This is the Gamecock Corner, brought to you by Randy Jones and Associates, your hot spot for everything you need to know about Jacksonville State football. Time to get the scoop on this week's matchup with your host, Shane Wilson, and the legendary voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Parris.
Who knew that a month ago we would go from talking about an 0-3 Jacksonville State Gamecock team to a Jacksonville State Gamecock team that is now 3-3. They've scored 161 points in those past three games, rushed for 991 yards in those past three games, and they're just a half game off the lead in Conference USA. So let's talk about all that in the Gamecock Corner. Welcome in for another week. And by the way, if you're listening on YouTube, we would love it if you're loving the Gamecock Corner, if you would smash that subscribe button. Would certainly help us out quite a bit. Now, let's talk about that game tonight. Middle Tennessee State, Burgess Snow Field at Amherst Stadium will be the place in Jacksonville. And Mike Parris, my co-host, joins us to talk all about it. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Shane. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. As Ron Burgundy, my broadcasting legend, my hero, likes to say, boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, 3 weeks, 164 points, 991 rushing yards. What do you chalk all that up to?
Obviously, we've gotten better since week one against Coastal Carolina, which is, interesting because Coastal Carolina now is, I thought they were outstanding the first night of the season and jumped out to, 3-0, I think, and they're 4-2, and they just made a change in offensive coordinator after two back-to-back losses. So it's amazing, of course, of a long season, the ups and downs, ebbs and flows or whatever, and how you change. And obviously you want to be playing your best at the end of the season, or at least when you get to conference play. And a little bit unusual in the fact that our schedule fell out where we played all our non-conference games and then got into conference play. So, everything, the last part of the season is all conference games. And we offensive line, I think, has clicked. We've got some injuries there, but so far have been able to overcome them. Our rushing attack, Trey Stewart's really come out of nowhere. He's a transfer from a Division II program and now our leading rusher in back-to-back 100-yard games. And it all goes back to Tyler Huff and what he's been able to do at quarterback. I think he really has jumped on the system and has got a pretty good hold on it. And then on the other side of the football, we are light years right now, the last 3 weeks and where we were the first 3 weeks in playing on the defensive side of the football. Tackling is much better, and we're playing much more soundly. And I think also maybe being a little more aggressive than what we were. So it's been a fun 3 weeks, and hopefully the good times can continue for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, now I mentioned the bye week record, but also it looks like Gamecocks do pretty well in these midweek games too. So another Wednesday night game will certainly help. And the opponent is one that 2-5 at the moment, and not very much offensively so far this year. So what else did we know other than the fact that if you follow college football at all, you probably have a pretty good idea who Middle Tennessee State's coach is. But other than that, what else do we need to know about Middle Tennessee State for tonight? Got
a good quarterback in Nick Vattiato, a guy who can throw it. He will run, but he's not what you would call a dual-threat guy. He came up the Western Kentucky game. He threw for, I think, 469 yards, and that was the second or third most in a game in Middle Tennessee history. He was a freshman of the year in the league, or on the all-freshman team, 3 years ago, was the MVP of their Bahamas Bowl victory that season as well. So he's a guy that's good. Got an Auburn transfer, and Amari Kelly, a wide receiver, special teams player of the week this week, I think, in Conference USA. Between he and their tight end, they got two outstanding receivers. And as you mentioned, Derek Mason is the head coach. Defensively, they've had some struggles there, giving up some yardage, and hopefully we can take advantage of that. I guess consistency has been the thing for them, both on offense and on the defensive side of the football. They did win last week, midweek contest. They beat Kennesaw. Hopefully, some of the problems that they've had during the season, that we can take advantage of those and continue and add to the winning streak tonight.
All right, so looking ahead, again, a half game off of the Conference USA leaderboard at the moment. Again, a far cry from where we were a month ago.
Right.
What have they got to do to win this thing and lock it up? With the meat of the schedule obviously still left. Liberty, La Tech, a couple of big games ahead.
Well, you get Liberty's next week after the Middle Tennessee game. We'll be at their place next Wednesday to play them. Western Kentucky was picked second in the preseason poll ahead of us, so we still got them. In fact, that's the last game of the season, and that is at Bowling Green, Kentucky, at their place. who knows, keep going and they win. That riding on that game possibly on Thanksgiving weekend on November 30th. And we also got a very much improved Sam Houston State team will be coming into our place November 23rd. So some tough games left. Just got to keep, I think, consistency in talking with Rodriguez and getting ready for tonight's contest. One thing he talked about, he thinks we can still get better, and also there are times in the game maybe where it seems like we have a little lull or something. He wants to avoid that. Just be consistent from the opening kick to the horn goes off to end it. And defensively, we've made plays, forcing turnovers. Want to continue to do that, and again offensively, move the football. One thing to keep a watch on. He feels like if the Jacksonville State offense can get 25 or more first downs, that's a good sign for the offense. So that's a number that he looks at. He's not a big stat guy, but that is one number that he looks at is 25 first downs per game. And then the last 2 weeks, I think we've had 31 and 26 or 27 in the last 2 weeks, so the last two games we played. So, and obviously the big thing is hopefully we can keep folks healthy. Don't have another open date the rest of the year, so got to stay healthy for the second half of the season as well.
All right. Well, we've heard nothing but how horrible football in the state of Alabama has been over the past 3 weeks. Now, if I were a defense attorney arguing against that in court, I would use the Gamecocks as Exhibit A. There's still good football being played in the state of Alabama, and they've been doing it, and let's hope they do it again tonight in Jacksonville.
Well, I do hope so. A former coach that we used to have here used to say the biggest games are not always fought in the biggest arenas, so just keep that in mind, okay? Well, I'll put it that way. So we played pretty good. Just hope we can keep rolling.
All right. Well, we'll be talking about it with you in the Gamecock Corner 1 week from today, Mike, and we thank you for hanging out with us this morning.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, don't forget, if you love the Gamecock Corner and you love what we're doing every week and you're listening on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We'd very much appreciate that. Pre-game for tonight, 5:30, kickoff at 6:30 from Burgess Snow Field at Amherst Stadium in Jacksonville as Jacksonville State takes on Middle Tennessee State. We'll be talking about it 1 week from today in the Gamecock Corner, along with previewing what could be the biggest game of the year next week for the Gamecocks as they take on Liberty. And we'll be talking about it. Gamecock Corner is brought to you by Randy Jones and Associates. Have a wonderful week. Go Gamecocks.
Hi, I'm Randy Jones, your hometown trusted choice insurance agency. Randy Jones and Associates knows the playing field, and we have been proudly serving communities across North Alabama for 46 years. Having the right protection on the field is important. The RJA team of experienced agents will help you find affordable, customized insurance coverage for your family, business, and future. Stop by a local Randy Jones Associates office for a free, no-obligation quote or complimentary policy review.
Join us next week for the Gamecock Corner, brought to you by Randy Jones and Associates, a production of WKXX Sports.